Have you ever wondered that why is it so difficult to let go of people we love? In relationships, when a breakup happens, some of us feel tremendously broken down and shattered with it. It seems as if we have lost all the anchorage and meaning in our life. And usually when we are going through such immense pain of meaninglessness, we want to get over it as soon as possible. We start seeking some sort of an escape from that pain. But escapism is not a solution. So instead of avoiding the pain, we should rather look at it more closely so that we can understand that why does it hurt so bad. Just the other day I came across a random quote and it was something like this. So it's true, when all is said and done, grief is the price we pay for love. Now if this is your idea of love, then certainly you're bound to suffer. Your love will become a suffering. So let's try to explore and find out, introspect that what do we mean by love? And the answer to the question of that why does love hurt so bad, or why does letting go of someone hurt so bad, will come out of that very understanding. First off, the very word letting go and break up sound very negative, as if something disastrous has happened. It's perfectly normal for two people who have been together out of choice to also part ways out of choice. They have no obligation to be together forever. In life, we always are evolving into new person because there are these new interests, new dimensions to explore. One cannot remain the same, always. So it's normal that sometimes in life, things can get incompatible, a little dull between two people. And when there is no peace, harmony and love between two people, the sensible thing is to part ways. But we don't do that. The moment there is this idea of part ways, all kind of memories erupt in our mind. And all kind of pleasant memories, and we don't even know whether they are pleasant or not. Our mind just projects these memories of the past as something pleasant, something that you do not want to let go of. We become fearful, and it happens because the very foundation of our relationship is wrong. I cannot comment about the individual, but as a society, what we know in the name of love is just dependency on each other. And the basis of dependency could be many. People are dependent on each other for the security, pleasure, comfort and companionship that they get from each other. I don't know what your crutch is. What is it that makes you dependent on the other person? You have to introspect and find out. But the important thing is that nobody wants to let go of this dependency, because letting go of dependency is always painful. And hence the suffering. Please understand this thing. However, if two independent people can be together for the sheer joy of loving and sharing what they have with each other, their going away can never ever create any trauma or pain. It's only when two people are dependent on each other that their going away becomes a painful thing. So what is important is not letting go, but finding out that why are we so deeply dependent. If we can get the answer to this question of dependency, then all our problems will be dissolved. The problem of breaking up or letting go. Otherwise, we will just let go of one person, but we will cling to somebody else because our mind is very clingy. We have not dealt with the root cause of the problem. We really need to understand that our love is not at all conscious. Our love is not born out of freedom, it's born out of dependency. Our love is just an attraction and attachment which happens out of biological programming, social needs, survival needs, and the moment there is any kind of need, dependency happens. Remember this thing. I'll repeat it again. The moment there is any kind of need, dependency happens. And out of that dependency, only mutual exploitation happens. It just becomes an agreement of scratching each other's back. You be there for me, I'll be there for you. Tomorrow if you're not going to be there for me, I won't be there for you. It's just an agreement, a deal that you have made. And out of this deal, you are constantly going to extract pleasure out of each other. And when you're constantly going to extract pleasure out of each other, then you will reduce the other person to just a commodity. And letting go or our love, the quality of love just hurts because we have reduced the other person to a commodity. We have become so insensitive. And I know that this all might sound really harsh to you, a little insensitive to you, but I really want you to introspect. What do you mean by love? Is there something more to it, or it's just comfort and security and pleasure that you get with each other? You really need to question it. A real love means that two people are together not to extract pleasure out of each other, but to grow as individuals, to help each other in becoming more and more free, to help each other in realizing their own unique potential, not to become dependent on each other. Their love is not at all a bondage, it's freedom. In fact, love and freedom are synonymous. If love is a flower, then freedom is its fragrance. So your togetherness should be there to introduce more freedom in your life, freedom in every dimension. If you will know this kind of love, then there will be no need to let go of the other person. Because you know it perfectly well that the other person is not a commodity, you don't possess each other. Remember this thing, that you can only let go of anyone if you possess that person, if you're dependent on that person. If you're not at all dependent on that person, what will you let go of? If you're not dependent on each other, then no breakup can happen. You can only part ways. Remember, only a bondage can break. Two free people can only part ways. They came together in total freedom, and now their going away is also something which is happening in total freedom. If two people have lived together, enjoyed together, loved together, then certainly there is a possibility that it might not last forever. It's perfectly human. It's perfectly normal. You don't have to make it a bitter experience. In fact, in my understanding, parting should be as beautiful as coming together. It should not be a bitter experience. I know that you must have been interested in some quick fix formula that will help you in getting over the pain. But I offered something totally opposite, a serious reconsideration about your values and ideas about love. But you really need to understand this thing, that our problems are much deeper than they seem. We are always dealing with the problem at a very superficial level. And at a very superficial level, it's way too easy to find the solution. Just Google about how to get over a breakup. You will find plethora of information. The generic advice is like this. First, people will sympathize with you. Second, they will offer you some sort of an escapism, that go to a dating site or go for a solo trip, start hanging out with friends. These are all the escapist routes. And till the time you're not going to confront that what do you mean by love, you will just go on living this chaos over and over again. First, you will fall in love, which is not at all love, which is just an attraction that happens because of the pleasure that you extract out of each other. Then this dependency happens. Then this loss of dependency, which becomes painful. Do you want to live this hellish sort of life over and over again, or do you really want to rethink about your ideas about love? So first, you need to work on yourself so that you can become more free. And by working, I mean that you need to deeply introspect what do you mean by love. And once you are liberated, once you are totally free, out of that freedom, you can absolutely love the other person without any expectation. Right now, your love is a transaction. It's a dependency. It will be something which will ask for love. I loved you, you love me back. It's just like two beggars are asking each other for love, and both do not have it. So it's a very funny situation actually. So I hope that you had an insight into what love is, and you're going to do something about it in order to change your life.